lake. Kenya yameta, tunavuna jasho lake.
Mwangaza wa mulika, nchi yasonga mbele, pamoja tunaweza, pamoja tunaijenga.
Kenya yameta, mtindo wetu, utamaduni wetu, tuwajivunia kuishi pamoja. Kenya yameta, baraka kwetu, kwa imani twasimama wote imara.
Mwangaza waelekeza njia ya kufuata, na nia zetu zote ni kuijenga Kenya.
Kampuni ya Kenya Power.
Kenya.
Mwangaza wa Kenya.
We strive tirelessly to bring power to you. Kenya Power, powering Kenya.
Mungu twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Esteemed shareholders, invited guests, Board of Directors, management, and Kenya Power staff, good morning. Jambo and welcome to the 103rd Annual General Meeting of the Kenya Power and Lighting Company PLC. My name is Joy Brenda Masinde. I'm the Chairman of the Board of Directors. And before I proceed, allow me to call upon Imelda Bore, our Company Secretary, to lead us in a word of prayer. Ms. Imelda.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. Almighty and everlasting God, we thank you for this day and the privilege to meet for the company's 103rd Annual General Meeting. We are grateful for our company, Kenya Power, and the opportunity to serve and empower our customers and fellow citizens. We thank you for our shareholders, our customers, our stakeholders, our board of directors, the management team, and company employees. As we begin this meeting, we ask for your guidance and for your blessings throughout the day. We pray all this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Dear shareholders, we are holding our 103rd Annual General Meeting by electronic communication. This is in accordance with the company's articles of association. To ensure that your voice is heard, we will have a question and answer session. You can send us your question by using the question button on your dashboard or by dialing the following code: 483 star 903 hash. I repeat, star 483 star 903 hash. Then you follow the prompts. The responses to all the questions received by the end of this meeting will be posted on the company website within the next 24 hours. Esteemed shareholders, I will now proceed to introduce the members of the Board of Directors who are also physically present with us here today. Starting with myself, Joy Brenda Masinde, I'm the chairman of the board. Dr. Engineer Joseph Siror, Ms. Logan Christie Hambrick, Engineer James Rege, Ms. Ruth Moirore, Engineer Albert Mugo, Mr. Ezekiel Saina, CPA Dr. Caleb Manyaga, Mr. Humphrey Mohu, and Engineer Isaac Kiva. Shareholders, allow me to please introduce Ms. Priscilla Maina, Director of Audits in the Office of the Director General, who's also physically present here with us. The Managing Director and CEO, Engineer Joseph Siror, will now proceed to introduce the members of the management team who are also physically present with us today. Director Siror.
Good morning, esteemed shareholders. The members of the management team are as follows. Imelda Bore, General Manager, Legal, Regulatory Affairs and Company Secretary. Engineer Agri Machasho, General Manager, Business Strategy. Engineer Kennedy Owino, Acting General Manager, Infrastructure Development. John Iwuthia, Acting General Manager, Power Planning and Purchase. Engineer David Mutito, General Manager, Network Management. Engineer Rosemary Odwor, General Manager, Commercial Services and Sales. Engineer Geoffrey Muli, General Manager, Regional Coordination. CPA Stephen Vikiru, General Manager, Finance. Dr. John Ngeno, General Manager, Supply Chain and Logistics. Robert Mugo, General Manager, ICT. Cecilia Kalungu, General Manager, Human Resources and Administration. Dr. Jeremiah Kiplakach, Director, Institute of Energy Studies and Research. Charles Cheriot, General Manager, Internal Audit.
Allow me to take this opportunity to thank all the staff, led by the MD and CEO, Director Siror, as well as all the staff of Kenya Power and Lighting for their commitment and unwavering support. I would encourage them to enhance service delivery to our customers, since happy customers will lead to an improved business and enhance shareholder value. At this point, I'd like to call upon our Company Secretary, Ms. Imelda Bore, to report on the shareholders' registration and to confirm whether or not we have quorum to proceed with this meeting. Ms. Bore.
Thank you, Chairman. I hereby confirm that a total number of 500 shareholders holding a total number of 1.25 billion shares, representing 63.85% shareholding, have registered for this electronic AGM. I therefore confirm that you have a quorum for this meeting.
Thank you very much, Ms. Imelda. Quorum being present, I hereby declare that this meeting is properly convened and duly constituted. I now call upon the Company Secretary to read the highlights of the notice convening this meeting. Ms. Imelda.
I confirm the notice convening the meeting as outlined on page 269 of the Integrated Annual Report and Financial Statements for Financial Year 2023-2024 was published in daily newspapers on the 7th November 2024. Additionally, the notice was published and is on the company's website. Notice reads as follows. Notice is hereby given to shareholders that the 103rd Annual General Meeting of the Kenya Power and Lighting Company PLC will be held by electronic communication on Friday, 29th November 2024 at 11 a.m. to conduct the business listed as under Agenda 1 to 10. By order of the Board, signed Imelda Bore, Company Secretary, on 7th November 2024. Thank you, Chairman.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now commence the formal business of our meeting. Item 2 on the agenda is to receive, consider, and adopt the company's audited financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2024. This is together with the chairman's, the directors, and the auditors' reports thereon. I now propose that the company's audited financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2024, which were published in the press on the 7th of November 2024, be taken as read. The audited financial statements are also available on the company's website. Shareholders, my report to you for the year ended 30th June 2024 is contained in the annual report on page 26 in English and on page 30 in Kiswahili. I shall also take these as read. May I now proceed to give highlights to my statements. Dear shareholders, I am pleased to welcome you to the 103rd Annual General Meeting of our company. I am honored by your presence, which is a demonstration of your commitment, your support, and the value that you attach to this business. As you may recall, the current board was constituted at the last AGM held on the 8th of December 2023 to ensure fair representation of both the majority and minority shareholders in the board. This is in line with the best corporate governance practices and specifically to give a voice to our minority shareholders. Esteemed shareholders, upon assuming office, the board was confronted with several challenges that hampered the company's business operations. Chief among these was the constraints arising from inadequacy of human and material resources. The company was also experiencing a high employee attrition arising from retirement and resignation of highly skilled staff in critical functions. In addition, there was a shortage of critical materials, particularly transformers and meters. These arose from the spillover effects of the protracted procurement litigation from the previous year, as well as the rising metal prices in the international market, which are essential components in the manufacture of transformers and meters and conductors. So from a global perspective, the economy showed signs of stability amidst the uncertainties of inflation, geopolitical tensions, and supply chain issues that continue to affect the businesses and our customers as well. So the period was also characterized by the depreciation of the shilling against all major currencies during the first half of the year. Esteemed shareholders, to address these challenges, the board promptly instituted short-term measures to resolve the bottlenecks affecting the availability of critical materials and formed an ad hoc committee to advise on retaining critical skills and rejuvenating our workforce. To further strengthen the company's performance into the future, the board guided the development of our 5-year strategic corporate plan for the year 2024 to 2028, which was launched during the first half of the year under review. The strategic plan outlines key focus areas centered on attaining financial sustainability, provision of customer-centered services, operational excellence, and strengthening of its human capital. Our esteemed shareholders, despite challenging business environment, the company made substantial progress in executing initiatives aligned with our company's strategic plan. The company went over and above to ensure that we deliver high quality, reliable, and safe power while fostering a highly engaged workforce committed to performance, accountability, and collaboration. As a result, the company has registered a profit before tax of 43.67 billion for the year compared to a loss before tax of Kenyan shillings 4.3 billion in the previous year. This performance was largely driven by 21% increase in the revenue of Kenyan shillings 231 billion, mainly attributed to new connections and to increased manufacturing activity. It's also attributed to the strengthening of the local currency against major global currencies during the second half of the financial year. The company's electricity sales also grew by 2.76% to 10,516 gigawatt hours, up from 10,233 gigabyte hours for the previous year. This increase was mainly due to new customer connections and the replacement of faulty meters, supported by an improved supply of meters. In view of the improved financial performance, the board is delighted to recommend a first and final dividend of 0.7 shillings per ordinary share for the year ended 30th June 2024, subject to withholding tax where applicable, to shareholders registered in the books of the company at the end of business by the 2nd of December 2024. If approved, the dividend will be paid on or about the 31st of January 2025. Esteemed shareholders, allow me now to inform you that the last AGM, you elected 4 new directors to represent Class A shareholders. These were Engineer James Rege, Ms. Ruth Moirore, CPA Dr. Caleb B. Manyanga, and Mr. Ezekiel Saina. Class B shareholder appointed the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Energy, and as directors to the board, in addition to Ms. Logan Hambrick, Engineer Albert Mogo, and myself, Joy Brenda Masinde, to the board. I wish to thank our former directors, Mr. Cairo Dhuo, Ms. Veska Kangogo, and Dr. Duncan Ojwang, who served the board diligently up to the first half of the year under review. Looking to the future, the board is committed to steering the company to entrench sustainable practices in all our operations. To this end, in September, we launched the Kenya Power Foundation, underscoring our commitment to corporate social responsibility and community investment. Additionally, last week, we officially launched the Sustainability Strategy, which underscores our commitment to environmental, social, and governance aspects of our businesses, as well as working towards ensuring our long-term financial viability. As a result of the adopted sustainability principles, this is our first integrated annual report, providing a holistic view of the company's performance. Esteemed shareholders, as I conclude, let me state that the board will continue to guide the company towards achieving its mission of empowering people for better lives by innovatively securing business sustainability. As chairman of the board, my firm belief is that our strategic focus on solidifying Kenya Power's position as the preferred energy provider, with a strong emphasis on customer satisfaction and loyalty, shall come to reality. Allow me to take this opportunity to thank you, our shareholders, for your continuing and unwavering support. We shall keep on working collaboratively with all our stakeholders to ensure that we deliver value for your investment. I look forward to meeting you again in our future meetings. Asanteni sana, and God bless you. Our shareholders, I now invite our Managing Director and CEO, Dr. Engineer Joseph Siror, to brief the shareholders on the year under review and the company's future prospects. Dr. Siror.
Esteemed shareholders, Chairman, Kenya Power Board of Directors, Joy Brenda Masinde, the Board of Directors, KPLC Executive Management Team, representative from the Office of the Auditor General, KPLC business partners, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the company's 103rd Annual General Meeting. I am honored to present to you the highlights of the company's business performance for the year ended 30th of June 2024. Esteemed shareholders, the first half of the year under review was marked by currency volatility and constraints in availability of materials and human resources. Despite these challenges, the company has demonstrated remarkable resilience and adaptability, culminating in a profit before tax of 43.67 billion shillings. This stands in stark contrast to the previous period, where the company reported a loss of 4.434 billion shillings due to increased finance costs and credit losses. The positive financial results were primarily driven by revenue growth, supported by increased electricity unit sales, a favorable foreign exchange rate that was witnessed in the second half of the year, and the successful implementation of a cost-reflective tariff regime that aligns energy pricing with generation and service costs. Esteemed shareholders, during the year under review, the company connected 447,251 new customers to the grid against our target of 400,000 customers, surpassing the connectivity target for the year by 12%. The accelerated connectivity which increased our customer base to 9.66 million, was supported by the availability of critical materials during the second half of the year and the subsequent deployment of a rapid results initiative. Esteemed shareholders, as you all know, a stable and a flexible grid is critical in our quest to adequately serve our customers and grow electricity sales. It is the backbone upon which our economy is anchored, supporting the country's energy demand totaling 13,684 gigawatt hours as at the end of the year. The country's network spans a total of 310,618 kilometers, out of which 9,589 kilometers is the transmission network, and the balance of 301,029 kilometers is the distribution network. Currently, urban centers constitute the bulk of electricity consumption, with Nairobi and its environs being the major load center, followed by Mombasa. Due to this clustering of demand, transmission constraints between major generation and consumption hubs arise, leading to increased system instability and inflexibility, while also contributing to system losses. Delays in the completion of major transmission projects have severely impacted the stability of our grid, negatively affecting our ability to adequately meet our customers' demand. These projects include Narok Bomet, Sondu Nthiwa, and Isiolo Nanyuki 132 kV lines, as well as the critical installations such as the Mariakani 400 to 220 kV substation. We also face a constrained distribution network characterized by aging infrastructure, encroachment on our wayleaf traces, and inflexibility due to the structure of our power lines. We are also experiencing overloading of our distribution network arising from the unplanned developments and third-party interferences, which often contribute to the equipment failures, especially transformers. I am confident that the completion of planned transmission projects, as outlined in the Least Cost Power Development Plan and projects in the company's distribution master plan, will greatly alleviate the current constraints faced by the grid. Furthermore, continued refurbishment, reinforcement, and reconfiguration of the distribution network will enhance supply quality for customers across the country while reducing the system average interruption frequency index from the current 47.5. Esteemed shareholders, a well-established, resourced, skilled, and motivated workforce is key to the achievement of our business aspirations. For this reason, the company is implementing a 3-year manpower development plan that will address staffing gaps and succession planning while prioritizing critical skills. In the past 4 years alone, 1,832 skilled employees have retired from service, and these are strained service delivery. To restore service levels, the company initiated a plan to fill the gaps while enhancing skilling for existing employees. Under this plan, the company hired 846 employees to fill resource gaps in key customer-facing functions towards breaching the current staffing deficit of 2,981 employees. This brought the total number of employees to 10,437 as at the end of the review period. To improve employees' productivity, the company implemented various initiatives to address employee welfare, build capacity, and provide appropriate tools and a conducive working environment. Towards this, we reviewed the remuneration of our unionizable employees and provided a cost of living adjustment for the management staff. Further, we enhanced our employee medical benefits, implemented wellness programs, and conducted various training programs to upskill them. The various initiatives implemented by the company paid off, as demonstrated by an improved employee engagement index of 69%, up from 62% the previous year. Esteemed shareholders, the company is committed to transforming its corporate culture by upholding the highest standards of ethics and integrity in all our operations. To reinforce our commitment, we actively sensitize our staff on the importance of adhering to the code of ethics. We also raise awareness among our customers and suppliers about malpractices such as bribery, meter tampering, bypassing, and illegal power connections. Esteemed shareholders, strategic engagements are crucial in strengthening the relationship between the company and its stakeholders. During the year under review, the company carried out engagements with various stakeholders, including Parliament, regulatory authorities, consumer associations, sector agencies, power producers, financiers, and the media. The engagements offered a platform to demonstrate the company's commitment to addressing customer concerns while enlisting their support in the fight against vandalism and other illegal activities within the network. As a result of these engagements, our Corporate Reputation Index, which measures perception of our brand by different stakeholders, improved to 63% from 61% the previous year. Esteemed shareholders, during the year, the company developed a new corporate strategic plan covering the medium-term period up to June 2028. The plan aims to deliver projects and initiatives that strengthen the company's competitive advantage, its financial health, improve power supply reliability and efficiency, and increase access to electricity across the country. The company is focused on pursuing specific objectives aligned with the 4 strategic areas, namely financial sustainability, customer centricity, operational excellence, and human capital, ensuring that overall goals are achieved within established timelines. The financial sustainability focus area aims to transform the company into a commercially viable entity with solid operating profits to provide predictable returns to all our shareholders. This will be accomplished through initiatives aimed at increasing sales, optimizing working capital, and prudently managing costs, thus increasing profitability. In keeping the company as a customer-centric organization, initiatives will be implemented to enhance customer experience by addressing significant issues such as supply outages, ease of access to our services and information, and the turnaround time for new connections. Additionally, we are working towards transforming the company into a smart utility that leverages technology and innovation to enhance efficiency and service delivery. This transformation will involve inspiring staff to adopt effective processes and plans. Our strategic commitment includes enhancing workforce productivity, improving employee experience, and fostering a supporting work environment. Esteemed shareholders, the company recognizes that a robust information and communication technology platform is critical in delivering the customer focus and operational excellence pillars of our strategic plan. In light of this, the company has adopted a holistic approach in its revamped ICT strategy to achieve digital transformation. The strategy identifies the enterprise architecture and business process re-engineering project as a critical enabler of this digital transformation. The project will deliver a modern ICT platform that aligns the current and future needs of our business and integrates all our information systems and assets towards operational efficiency and productivity. The integration will also establish a business intelligence platform for data-driven decision-making that would enhance our responsiveness to customer and business needs. Shareholders, in the last 5 years, the performance of the company's share price at the Nairobi Security Exchange declined to 1.4 at its lowest. I am happy to report that the share price has improved remarkably to a recent high of 3.76, owing to renewed investor confidence in the company as of the end of the year under review. To sustain investor and stakeholder confidence, we shall endeavor to strengthen the fundamentals that support our business growth and profitability to deliver value to our shareholders. Over the medium term, our focus is to implement high-impact projects and initiatives as outlined in our strategic plan and ensure that they are adequately resourced as we foster a culture of operational excellence that drives business growth. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the board, management, and staff for their unwavering support during the year. Their dedication and commitment have been instrumental in achieving our objectives and navigating the challenges we face. Together, we will continue to drive Kenya Power towards a brighter and a more sustainable future. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Asante sana, Daktari. Allow me to introduce Ms. Priscilla Maina, Director of Audits from the Office of the Auditor General. Ms. Maina will now proceed to read the Auditor General's report.
Good morning, shareholders. As stated by the Chair, I'm Priscilla Maina, Director of Audit, representing FCPA Nancy Kadungu, CPS, the Auditor General. The report of the Auditor General is on page 133 to 148 in the Integrated Annual Report and Financial Statements for the year ended 30th June 2024. The report is in 3 parts. The first part is a report on the financial statements. Under this report, it is unqualified. The next part of the report is to draw to the shareholders is material uncertainty relating to going concern. The company has remained in a negative working capital position for the 8 consecutive years. The next one is on the issue of land without titles. I'll refer the shareholders to those pages because I'm going to read only the titles. The next one is that we had a key audit matter where we took a lot of time to walk through the documentation that was provided by the company. This is the area we took time as an audit office: revenue recognition. The next part of the report is a report on lawfulness and effectiveness in use of public resources. Conclusion: as required by Article 2296 of the Constitution and based on the audit procedures performed, except for the matters described in the basis for conclusion, lawfulness and effectiveness in use of public resources section of my report, I confirm that nothing else has come to my attention to cause me to believe the public resources have not been applied lawful and in an effective way. The first one is on procurement of goods and services. We had unsupported decline in value of leased land. We had unprocedural procurement of off-grid generation fuel. Number 2, we had human resource. Number 3, we had non-compliance with age limit requirement for appointment to the board. Number 4, we had penalties on overdue invoices. Number 5, we had comparative cost of power purchase between KenGen and independent power producers. Number 6, we had the company failed to prepare financial statements for a donor project, which is a requirement by the World Bank. The last part of the report is a report on the effectiveness of internal controls, risk management, and governance. Conclusion. As required by Section 71A of the Public Audit Act 2015, based on the audit procedures performed, except for the matters described in the basis for conclusion on the effectiveness of internal controls, risk management, and governance section of my report, I confirm that nothing else has come to my attention to cause me believe that internal controls, risk management, and governance were not effective. The first part is long outstanding receivables from government entities, and this one is from national government and the county governments. National government, it owes the company 30 billion, whereby the company administered on behalf of the government of Kenya, what we refer to as Rural Electrification Scheme, of which the government has not paid the company 30 billion. The other one is on the issue of the county governments. The county governments are owing the Kenya Power and Lighting Company a total of 4 billion, and it is to the 47 county governments. The other one is on the issue of 158 million, which is being owed by other entities trading with Kenya Power and Lighting Company. Number 2 is the outstanding rent. The other one is on delays in completion of customer electricity connection projects. The other one is on the weakness in the project management. And the other one is weakness in electricity consumption billings. The other one is on network inefficiencies. We have power losses, instabilities in the power supply network. And the last one is on the weaknesses in management of risks. Report on the other regulatory, it is to the law. Conclusion is required by the Companies Act. I report based on my audit that I have obtained all the information and explanation which to the best of my knowledge and belief were necessary for the purpose of the audit. In my opinion, I confirm information given in the director's report on pages 67 to 68 is consistent with the financial statements. And number 2, the auditable part of the director's remuneration report on pages 69 to 71 has been properly prepared in accordance with Companies Act 2015. I submit FCPA Nancy Kadhungu, CPS Auditor General. I've done it on her behalf. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Maina. That is the Director of Audits from the Office of the Auditor General. Prior to this meeting, shareholders sent us questions in regard to the company's audited financial statements and the resolutions contained in the notice convening this meeting. We have uploaded the questions as well as the responses on the company's website. In addition to this, any questions that you had previously shared, you have an opportunity today to ask more questions. You can use the question button on your screen, or you can send you can call in by mobile phone number 0709 170 043. I'll repeat. You can call in on telephone number 0709 170 043. Please note that at this meeting, we may not be able to respond to all your questions raised due to time limitation. However, we will publish all the responses to the questions received on our website after the meeting. Shareholders, allow me now to invite those wishing to call in to proceed with their questions and to dial in. When calling, kindly indicate your name and where you're calling us from. Good morning.
Morning, Madam Chair. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where you're calling from?
Indeed, I will. My name is Daniel Kemodo. I'm calling from Nairobi, and I am a passionate shareholder.
Passionate shareholder, we like that. Please proceed with your question.
Madam Chair, I'll go very fast because I know maybe there are others who are on the line. And I want to start by thanking you and your board and the management for the exemplary performance in the year under review. It's long since we received the dividend, and of course having a dividend and also seeing our share price rise from 1 shilling and something to around 5. That is good, and you need the pat on the back. Having said that, let me raise about 3 issues, and I will start with what the auditor has raised about 8 issues in her report, and I want to single out 2 because the others I think they are what we call the low-hanging fruits, in which you and your management and the board can be in a position to deal with them very fast, so that the auditor may not be writing on the book, like looking for the title deeds of the company, appointment of the director who is overage, payment of acting allowance, one-third basic rule. Those are low-hanging fruits which you can deal with. However, let me deal with one which is about the receivables from the county government. You are saying that you have 4 billion which is outstanding from the county government and continues to accumulate. And the auditor has said management did not demonstrate effort made to recover the amount. Now, B is receivable from fiber optic sales of 5 billion. Management effort to recover has been unsuccessful. So, in those two cases and the other receivables, what steps are you taking? When the auditor says that management effort to recover has been unsuccessful, you stop there, or you are going maybe to take other steps even to the county government? Number 2 is the issue of independent power producers, IPPs, page 141. The auditor has enumerated clearly the cost from the IPPs and also the cost that you buy power from KenGen. And my question is this. I know there are contracts, you cannot terminate them, but I want to know, since the auditor has enumerated and showed us that it is very, very maybe cheaper almost to have to buy power from KenGen than IPPs, what will it take you and the board to terminate or to start the process of terminating the contract with IPPs? Because definitely we need something that is cheaper, which can make you at least gain some more money. So what will it take you to terminate or to start the process of terminating the contract with some of the independent power producers so that KenGen, I know it is in a position to supply all the power? And then my last question is on page 151, the accounts. Now, one of the reasons why Kenya Power made a lot of profit, it was because of finance costs. There was stabilization of the Kenya shilling against the dollar, and for now we can see that the shilling has stabilized. So assuming, now I'm using the rule of probability, assuming that the shilling will remain there like that, it will not depreciate, neither will it appreciate against the dollar. Do we expect that we are going maybe to make the same profit, or we are going maybe to reduce the profit and that? And then licenses, your licenses, page 197. The license fee goes from 301 million, I really noted this, to 1.65 billion. That is 5 times. What is these new licenses that you acquired that made you spend 5 times more on the licenses? And so with that, I want to thank you, Madam Chair, and your board. I know you are working hard, you are not resting, and we wish you all the best as we pray that God will enable you so that you can be in a position even to make shareholders happy. As I wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Asante sana. Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where you're calling from?
My name is Wambui. I'm calling from Kiambu County.
Wambui from Kiambu. Thank you. What is your question, please?
The question is, it's a question or a comment. The company seems to be doing well now.
Mm-hmm.
What are the returns for the shareholders? Because I feel that the 0.7 is on the lower side of the dividend.
Thank you, Wambui.
Now that the company is doing well.
Asante.
Okay.
Do we have another? Okay. Allow me to now take a short interlude so that we can prepare to answer your questions, after which we will come back with the question and answer session. Thank you, shareholders.
Welcome to the annual general meeting of Kenya Power and Lighting Company PLC. Voting for the AGM resolutions is currently open. Eligible shareholders received an SMS with instructions on how to vote. Voting can be done via USSD or via the link provided. The following steps will guide you on how to vote. Please note that you can only vote once via either USSD or the link. Karibu kwenye mkutano mkuu wa mwaka wa kampuni wa Kenya Power and Lighting Company PLC. Upigaji kura kwa maazimio ya AGM kwa sasa umefunguliwa. Wanahisa waliohitimu walipokea SMS yenye maagizo ya jinsi ya kupiga kura. Kupiga kura kunaweza kufanywa kupitia USSD au kupitia kiungo kilichotolewa. Hatua zifuatazo zitakuongoza jinsi ya kupiga kura. Tafadhali kumbuka kuwa unaweza kupiga kura mara moja pekee kupitia USSD au kiungo. A text message and an email prompt has been sent to all eligible shareholders and proxies with instructions on how to vote. Please dial the USSD code *483*903# and follow the prompts to vote. Please dial the USSD code *483*903# and follow the prompts to vote. Those with multiple accounts and holding proxies on behalf of other members will be prompted to vote for the various accounts consecutively. Ujumbe mfupi na barua pepe umetumwa kwa wanahisa wote wanaohitimu na wakilishi, yani proxy, ulio na maagizo ya jinsi ya kupiga kura. Tafadhali piga msimbo wa USSD *483 *903# na ufuate madokezo ili kupiga kura. Kwa wale walio na kaunti zaidi ya moja au aliyetumwa kuwakilisha, yani proxy, watahamasishwa kupiga kura kwa kaunti mbalimbali mfululizo. The prompts will be as follows. Registered shareholders and proxies will key in and dial the following USSD code from any mobile network in Kenya. Wanahisa na wawakilishi, yani proxy, watapiga code ifuatayo kwenye simu yao. Code hii inaweza kutumika kwa mitandao yote ya simu Kenya. *483*903#. Choose language. Option 1 English, option 2 Kiswahili. Chagua lugha. 1 Kiingereza, 2 Kiswahili. Utapewa fursa kuchagua lugha inayokufaa. You will be prompted to select your preferred language. Once the shareholder chooses the language, the next prompt will be as follows. Welcome to Kenya Power and Lighting Company PLC AGM. Mwanahisa atakapochagua lugha atapata jibu lifuatalo. Karibu kwenye mkutano mkuu wa mwaka wa Kenya Power and Lighting Company PLC. Bonyeza 1. Once the shareholder has responded, they shall receive the following prompt. Accounts registered with your number are listed below. Reply with 1 to vote using the first listed account. Once the shareholder has responded, they shall receive the following prompt. Mwanahisa atapata jibu lifuatalo. Akaunti iliyosajiliwa kwa nambari yako imeorodheshwa hapa chini. Bonyeza 1 kupiga kura. Do you approve the audited financial statements for the year ended 30th of June 2024, together with the chairman's, directors, and auditors' reports thereon? Reply with 1. If in favor, reply with 2. If against, reply with 3. If to abstain. Unaidhinisha taarifa za fedha zilizokaguliwa za mwaka ulioishia tarehe 30 mwezi wa 6 mwaka wa 2024 pamoja na taarifa ya mwenyekiti, ripoti za wakurugenzi na wakaguzi wa hesabu. Bonyeza 1 kukubali. Bonyeza 2 kukataa. Bonyeza 3 kuwazilia. Continue following the same prompts for all other resolutions. Shareholders with multiple accounts shall be prompted to vote until they exhaust all their accounts. Endelea kufuata mchakato kwa hoja zingine. Mwanahisa anaweza kurudia mchakato mzima ili kupiga kura tena ikiwa ana akaunti zaidi ya moja. Thank you. Your name in bracket. Your vote has been registered. Asante. Jina lako, kura yako imesajiliwa. Mwanahisa atakapomaliza kupiga kura atapata jibu la mwisho kudhibitisha kwamba kura yake imekubaliwa. Once the vote is made, the shareholder shall receive the final prompt confirming that their vote is accepted. Voting via the livestream link. The livestream link for this meeting was sent to all eligible shareholders via SMS and email. Once you click the link, you'll find the resolutions tab on the dashboard. Click the button and thereafter click the voting options against each resolution as per your choice. Once completed, click the Submit Vote for Resolutions button to complete voting. Kiungo cha mtiririko wa moja kwa moja cha mkutano huu kilitumwa kwa wanahisa wote wanaostahiki kupitia SMS na barua pepe. Mara baada ya kubofya kiungo, utapata kichupo cha resolution kwenye dashboard. Bofya kitufe na kisha ubofye chaguo za kupiga kura dhidi ya kila azimio kulingana na chaguo lako. Baada ya kukamilika, bofya kitufe cha Submit Vote for Resolutions ili kukamilisha kupiga kura. Closing the voting process. Closing of voting will be announced by the chairman. Kufungwa kwa upigaji kura kutatangazwa na mwenyekiti. Results of the resolutions voted on will be published on the company's website, i.e. www.kplc.co.ke within 24 hours following the conclusion of the AGM. Matokeo ya uchaguzi yatachapishwa kwenye wavuti wa kampuni kati ya masaa 24 kufuatia hitimisho la mkutano.
Shareholders, while we were on the break, a few more calls came in, and I'd like to give an opportunity to as many of our shareholders as possible to put in their questions before we proceed with answering the ones that had been asked prior. So kindly put through any other calls that come through. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm very fine.
Please give us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm Mr. Caxton Mwangimundia.
Yes, Caxton.
From Kiriaga County.
Please proceed.
It is not much. I just congratulate to the board of directors, managing director, and the management team on the exceptional performance with profit before tax.
Thank you so much.
To a tune of 43.7 billion. That's congratulations very much. My one question is just what initiative has been implemented to integrate substantial stability into business operations? That's one question.
Would you like to repeat the question again? You are breaking up a little bit. Please repeat the question.
What initiative has been implemented to integrate stability into business operations? Second question, as the company aims to connect an additional 4 million customers by 2030, what measures been put in place to achieve this target?
Asante sana.
That's the question. And the last one, what factors contributed to the increase in operational costs from that 7.3 billion in the previous year to cash 46.3 billion? Charity. Maybe those few questions, I'll like you to answer me those questions. And I would say thanks a lot for giving me that chance. God bless you.
Asante sana, Caxton.
Thank you.
Do we have other callers? Good morning.
Good morning, Chair.
Asante sana. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Angungu Lennox, and I am calling from Nairobi.
Yes, Enoch. Please proceed.
Thank you. I only have two questions, Chair.
Yes, sir.
One is in reference to ESG, seeing to it that we are a great supplier in the market of green energy. Now, what has the company done so far in terms of engaging in matters carbon credit? Second question is, I would like to thank the board for the achievements that they have done this year, and we've seen that there's been an improvement in terms of the accounts and the books. Now, going forward into the next financial year, what is the board going to do to ensure that we don't go back to where we were before, but we get more profits in future? Thank you.
Asante sana, Enoch. Do we have another caller? Okay, so I think we can respond to those ones. I will allow the MD and the GM Finance, who are both here, to, between them, answer the questions that have come through from the shareholders. Bwana Siror.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Esteemed shareholders, we would like to respond to the questions that have been presented so far. One of them is the issue of the receivables from the county government in terms of what we are doing. We have really spent a lot of effort here, and maybe this just to confirm to our shareholders that we are engaging the county governments. First of all, we work with them because we do realize the critical role that they play. So we've been engaging them first in terms of them coming up with a payment plan, because some of the debts may have come from the prior periods. But we've also sought even to engage the National Treasury in assisting us in collecting what is owing from them. But for those, or for areas which are rather few, where it appears that all efforts are actually failing, we've once in a while taken the drastic action of actually disconnecting them. But from a technological front, what we are mainly doing for some of the big counties and even the big, or rather the industrial and the bigger customers, is to retrofit their meters to have the smart meters. The beauty of the smart meters is that it will always keep checking what is being consumed, and at the point when one is invoiced and they do not pay, at that particular time, it will just disconnect. So there are a number of efforts that we're actually spending on this particular front. The first one being the softer approach, but ultimately when all the approaches fail, then we normally take the drastic action. And this also applies for the fiber business, where I think it was noted that we are owed some monies on the fiber area of things, and part of it, or what we are owed also in that space, debts which some of the customers that we do provide are contesting. So part of it is also arising from the fact that we've not come to an agreement completely in terms of what, or rather they have not fully agreed with what we indicate as owing from them. On the question of IPPs, the cost of IPPs and versus KenGen, let me really assure our shareholders that when you even look at the current power availability, or rather, if you look at what is generation capacity, vis-a-vis the demand, we really have a very thin margin. And this is to say that it is not like there is some power that KenGen has, which we are not utilizing, so that we now turn over and use the IPPs. I want to assure each and every person listening to me today that after we've taken all that KenGen has to supply, that alone would not meet 70% of our demand. So if it was such as for us to say that let's not take any from the IPPs, then that would immediately result in massive load shedding in most of the parts of the country. Possibly there are customers right now who some evenings they notice that they have outages. A number of them would interpret and say, we usually have a blackout every evening, but the truth of the matter is a number of them are happening because of inadequate generation to meet the demand. So what does happen is that we have to do what is called load shedding, where we take out part of the areas in the country so that we can match what is being generated and what is being consumed. For the sake, again, of the public, whenever there is a mismatch between the two, if you want to demand more power than is being generated, what the system would actually do, it will collapse. So for one to prevent that, you have to take out some of the consumers so that at least the two are matched. So we are not in a position where KenGen has a lot of power which we are not utilizing, but rather the IPPs play a very critical role in coming to meet the demand that is in the country. And I think even over the past 2 days, I am aware we may even have load shed last evening about 60 megawatts. The day before, possibly a similar amount. So we are in a situation where we have a deficit in terms of generation. And if it was such as we were to take out the IPPs, you would really be load shedding at scales that we've never experienced before. But again, talking about the issue of the cost, the reason why it would appear that the IPPs are more costly when you consider per unit is that their generation technology, these are mainly where the thermal sources are. And when you talk about thermal sources, for illustration, the cheapest in the country is not even Kengen. Actually, the most expensive thermal source is the Moroni GT, which costs about 70 shillings or over 70 shillings per kilowatt hour. So it's not an issue of IPPs versus Kengen. It's an issue of what technology is being supplied. Maybe if I use another illustration, the cheapest geothermal source in the country right now is IPP, and that is the Socian, which is costing us 6.9 US cents per kilowatt hour. So it's not an issue of IPP versus Kengen. It's an issue of technology versus technology. If you are to compare geothermal versus geothermal, thermal versus thermal, and hydro versus hydro, they would all actually compare quite well, except, of course, for some of the IPPs, which are slightly higher, and this is mainly because of the monies that they use to implement. Because for Kengen, they do get some subsidized rates in terms of the cost of capital. Coming to the issue of licenses, I don't know if Vikiru you'd want to deal with that. The issue of that's assuming, maybe let me just allow Vikiru to answer the issue of finance costs and the licenses.
Thank you, MD. Thank you, Chairman. And our esteemed shareholders, I will respond to question number 3 from Daniel Kimotho. The first part of the question was on the finance cost, that the impact of the forex, and if the Kenya shilling remains stable, do we expect the same profit? Now, the profit is determined by quite a number of factors, not just the forex. It has quite some significant impact, but really the business fundamentals and the performance of the business in terms of the trading performance. And as you can see in the financial report, there was an increase in sales, in the unit sales, and other factors that attributed to that profit. And in our strategy, we intend to really focus on these specific growth areas so that we increase the performance of the business. Stability of the forex will be an important factor in terms of really maintaining the cost of sales, that is a power purchase, which is significantly in foreign currency, maintaining that within control, as well as on the loan side. But we also have a very robust forex mitigation strategy, really noting that forex has a significant impact on our performance, and part of that is paying down on the foreign currency denominated loans. And so we are doing that even as we go ahead in implementing our strategy, and we expect to reduce our forex exposure going forward. In terms of the license fee, the increase in the license fee, quite significant. Now, the license fee on several of the systems that we use, one is that most of the systems are denominated in foreign currency, or the invoices for the system, and by the fluctuation of the foreign currency in the first half of the year, the license fee was actually much higher based on the forex rate. But also, and more importantly, it's the number of modules and the functions that we utilize in these systems. As we continue to automate our operations, then we onboard quite a number of the processes that were initially not digitalized into the digital systems, and that increases the scope of the license. And as well, when we bring more users of our employees into that, and also when we add the customers, number of customers on the smart meters and all that, then we have quite an increase in terms of the licenses. But then we are in a journey of rejuvenating our entire system, and so we expect to optimize that going forward. And the question from Wamboi, what are the returns to shareholders at 0.7 shillings is very low. Now, the determination of the dividend to be paid to shareholder is based on the company's dividend policy. And in addition to that, there are considerations around the funds that are required, the capital that is required to be able to ensure that we continue investing in the business to make it financially stable, and even increase future value for the shareholders. And part of the the earnings this particular year, as mentioned before, are related to the Forex movement, and these are not distributable earnings as per se, because the Forex variation at some point is actually something that changes again in time. And so it is the intent of the shareholders and management to enhance the performance of the business and be able to improve the dividend payment going forward. The company is still also in a negative working capital. We have improved quite significantly from the levels of negative 74 billion in 2020 to 27 billion as at the year under review, and we expect to really cure out the negative working capital in this or the coming financial year, and by then we should be able to consider a much higher dividend to the shareholders. The next question was from Caxton on the integrating of sustainability in the business operations. And what I would highlight there is that the company just launched the sustainability strategy. And if you look at the financial statements that we have released, I think it should be on the website now, the full set of the financial statements that gives quite a bit detail in terms of the sustainable practices that the business really is doing and those that it has incorporated in its strategy going forward. And then measures in place for the additional 4 million customers by 2030. I think our challenges has mainly been, as highlighted by the MD, the issue of availability of materials and sufficient capacity to be able to execute projects in time, and that has quite been addressed, as the chairman really alluded to in her report, and we expect that we'll be able to achieve the targets that we have in our strategy to be able to connect and achieve the universal access by 2030 as per the government's agenda. And also the government itself is focused on providing funds for the social connections, that is under the last mile, the street lighting and other programs, including with the support from the donors. The last one I'll take is on the operating expenses that increased from 37 billion to 43 billion. That was a significant increase. But then the key factor in this, number one, was the increase in the wheeling charge, that is the transmission wheeling charge. This was an increase that was factored in the process of the review of the costs of maintaining the grid, the transmission network. And so at the approval of the tariffs, that was actually doubled from 2.6 billion to about 5.5 billion shillings. That's a major part of that increase. And as well, the expanded network and increase in customer numbers quite significantly, and also noting that in the previous periods we had challenges around procurement of materials and all. So most of our network refurbishment and maintenance operations were actually revved up within the year under review, and so that gave to the rise in the operating costs. And finally, we had some additional technical staff, as also included in the MD's report, which also fed into that particular report. There's the last one, Chairman, I don't know if you'd allow, on the ENOC on ESG. On the ESG, what has the company done on to leverage on the carbon credit market? Now, in terms of the green generation of green energy, for KPLC does not generate, and so the generators would already have really laid in claim for any carbon credits in that. We've seen in the KenGen report they have actually quite made some earnings from carbon credits because in this market you cannot duplicate any claim on that. And so for KPLC is mainly in terms of the dispatch. However, the company is also doing some downstream activities that actually would qualify for carbon credits, and that includes the clean energy, e-mobility, and as well as tree planting and other activities within the communities and all that. And so we have laid frameworks in this, and in our sustainability strategy, we have laid frameworks and targets in this area, in these specific areas, and going forward, we will see areas in which we'll be able to benefit from that framework. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Allow me to just address one question that was raised by Caxton. The company wanting to improve, to increase connectivity to 4 million additional customers by the year 2030. As a board, we are aware that our situation as a company is dependent on other players in the field, and we have taken every step that we can to constantly engage our stakeholders. For example, we have this moratorium that has been placed by Parliament on additional generation of power. We have been trying to sensitize them on the fact that we do not actually have adequate power in Kenya as it is, and we need to increase our generation, and so that we can allow the market to increase productivity so that we have more power available to supply to more Kenyans. Of course, Kenyans are aware as well that our transmission lines are facing serious constraints, and we are continuing to work with government as well as our sister company Ketraco so that we can increase the amount of power that is being transmitted so that we are able to distribute it better to our customers. So as a board, we are also engaged on a macro level to find ways and means to ensure that when we set these ambitious targets, as a company, we are able to deliver not just on the promise, but to deliver on it in a business and cost-effective manner. So I would encourage you to continue engaging also with your local members of parliament and other stakeholders and other players, policy makers, so that we're able to have a robust ecosystem, because Kenya Power cannot operate out of itself. We operate within an ecosystem. But we want to thank the support that we have received from our parent ministry, the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, and especially thank our permanent secretary as well as our minister, who have made concerted efforts to ensure that we get the support that we need on a policy level, as well as the Energy Committee of Parliament, to ensure that we get the legislative support that we need to solve some of these problems. So allow me at this point to close the question and answer session. And at this point, there were questions that were received at I think they were received online. Yes? And these have already been responded to, and they have been posted on our website. So those, as well as what we have received today, will together be posted on our website within the next 24 hours. Allow me to request the company secretary to read out the proposed resolution with respect to the audited financial statements, and to confirm whether or not we have a proposer and a seconder to this motion. Ms. Imelda?
Thank you, Chairman. Shareholders, the resolution is as follows. The company's audited financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2024, together the chairman's, directors, and auditors' reports, thereon are submitted to this meeting, be and are hereby approved. Chairman Munene John K. has proposed, and Bwire Elijah Lwagula has seconded the motion.
Shareholders, the resolution to approve the audited financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2024 have been proposed and seconded. I now put it to the meeting for voting. Esteemed shareholders, the board has recommended for your approval a first and final dividend of 0.4 shillings per ordinary share for the year ended 30th June 2024. If approved, the dividend will be paid out on or before the 31st of January 2025. I will now request the Company Secretary, Ms. Imelda Bore, to read out the proposed resolution with respect to the approval of the dividend. Ms. Bore.
Thank you, Chairman. The resolution is as follows: that the payment of a first and final dividend of Kenya shillings 0.7 per ordinary share, subject to withholding tax where applicable in respect of the year ended 30th June 2024, be and is hereby approved. Chairman, Musyoka Kelvin Kilokwe and Mutune Anthony Nzioki have proposed, and Shivachi David Jeril has seconded the motion.
Shareholders, the resolution to approve a payment of dividend of 0.7 shillings per ordinary share for the year ended 30th June 2024 has been proposed and seconded. I now put it to the meeting for voting. Shareholders, item 4 on our agenda is the notice on the election of directors. Engineer James Rege retires by rotation in accordance with the Article 26 of the company's Articles of Association. He is eligible and has offered himself for re-election to be retained as a director. Kindly note that Engineer Rege is over the age of 70 years. Additionally, in accordance with the company's Articles of Association, we have received a proposal nominating Mr. Robert Mutai for election as a director in the company. Shareholders, in summary, we have 2 candidates and we have 1 position to fill within the board. As I read the names of the candidates, Please note that their profiles, which are being displayed on the screen, are also available in your shareholder pack of the dashboard. The first one is Engineer James Rege, CBS. And the second one is Mr. Robert Mutai. Both candidates have been duly proposed by shareholders and are now submit their names for voting. Please note, you can only vote for one candidate. Shareholders, the next item on our agenda is agenda item number 5 on the election of the board audit committee members. The company secretary will now proceed to read out the proposed resolution and confirm whether we have a proposer and a seconder of the motion. Ms. Imelda.
Thank you, Chairman. The resolution is as follows. In accordance with the provisions of Section 769 of the Companies Act 2015, the following directors will be required to be elected to serve as members of the Board Audit Committee: Caleb Manyaga, Albert Mugo, Humphrey Muhu, Ezekiel Saina. Chairman, Bundi Bruce Samora has proposed the motion, and Muga James Robert has seconded the motion.
With respect to the resolution on the election of audit committee members, it has been proposed and seconded, and I now put it to the meeting for voting. Allow me to pause at this moment and recognize the arrival and the presence of our permanent secretary, Mr. Alex Washira, CBS, who is also a director in this company by virtue of being the principal secretary in the State Department for Energy. Karibu sana, Bwana PS. Shareholders, item 6 on the notice of approval is a resolution for the approval of payment of fees to non-executive directors for the year ended 30th June 2024. The company secretary will read out the proposed resolution and confirm whether we have a proposer and a seconder to the motion. Madam Imelda.
Thank you, Chairman. The shareholders' resolution is as follows. The director's fees for the year ended 30th June 2024 be and is hereby approved. Chairman Kamal Johnny Raya has proposed and Chira Virginia has seconded the motion.
Shareholders, the resolution for the payment of the director's fees for the year ended 30th June 2024 has been proposed and seconded. I now put it to the meeting for voting. Esteemed shareholders, the next resolution is to note that the Auditor General will continue auditing the company's books of accounts. The company secretary will read out the resolution and confirm whether we have a proposer and a seconder to the motion. Ms. Imelda.
Thank you, Chairman. The resolution is as follows, shareholders. To note that the audit of the company's books of accounts will continue to be undertaken by the Auditor General or an audit firm appointed by her in accordance with the Section 23 of the Public Audit Act 2015. Chairman Lewela Joseph Mkirima has proposed, and Mainageoffry Bethwell has seconded the motion.
Shareholders, item 8 on the agenda is the resolution to authorize directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. The company secretary will read out the proposed resolution and confirm whether or not we have a proposer and a seconder to the motion. Ms. Imelda.
Thank you, Chairman. Shareholders, the following is a resolution that the board be and is hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Chairman Muga James Robert has proposed, and Mugi Danson Wagunya has seconded the motion.
The resolution has been proposed and seconded, and I now put it to the meeting for voting. Shareholders, agenda item number 9 is a resolution to authorize the directors to approve and implement the company policies. The company policies have been developed pursuant to the provisions of the Capital Markets, Public Offers, Listings and Disclosures Regulations of 2023. The company secretary will read out the proposed resolution and confirm whether we have a proposer and a seconder to the motion. Ms. Imelda.
Thank you, Chairman. Shareholders, the following is a resolution to authorize the directors to approve and implement the company policies which have been developed pursuant to provisions of the Capital Markets Public Offers Listings and Disclosure Regulations 2023 as follows. Board remuneration policy, effective communication with stakeholders policy, corporate disclosures, policies and procedures, dispute resolution for internal and external disputes policy, and policy ensuring attraction and retention of board members. Chairman Karaoke Stanley Philip has proposed, and Muthiga James Mwai has seconded the motion.
Shareholders, the resolution has been proposed and seconded. I now put it to the meeting for voting. We have considered all the proposed resolutions, and I therefore encourage shareholders who are yet to vote to kindly do so. The results of the voting for the various resolutions and the election of directors shall be published on the company's website within the next 24 hours. I now want to call upon the Secretary to confirm whether there is any other business.
Thank you, Chairman. I confirm that there is no other business for which due notice has been given.
We've now come to the end of our meeting, and I would like to take this opportunity on my own behalf and on the behalf of the entire Board of Directors to thank image registrars and other partners for their immense support in delivering this virtual AGM. Shareholders, this meeting would not be possible without your presence, and I want to take this opportunity to thank you for joining us and to wish you all a very blessed Christmas and a prosperous 2025. Let us pray. Father, we are grateful for your leading and your guidance. We commit our company to you and pray that, Lord, everything that we do and say will be to the benefit of your people and to the benefit of this nation. I want to pray, dear Lord, even as we break this meeting, that our shareholders will be blessed and that everything that they set their hand to do will prosper. Thank you for the health of this company, for the way that we're seeing a positive growth, and we commit it to you that, Father, we will grow to greater heights and to greater strength. We thank you and we honor you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Hi there, my name is Nuru. Have you been looking for an easier and convenient way of accessing Kenya Power services? You can now simply dial *977# or download My Power app from the Google Play Store or the App Store. Enjoy the convenience of purchasing tokens, paying your bills, reporting power outages, applying for new power connections, verifying Kenya Power employees, reporting billing complaints, and self-reading your meters to receive accurate bills, all at the comfort of your phone. So why wait? Experience the convenience and reliability of *977# and the My Power app today. Kenya Power, powering people for better lives.